And so one of the things that we've kind of joked about before, I'm going to throw that word out there now. This is where the ego death came in.
Okay. So you're going to have to break that down.
I am. So
if you're like me, that don't know what that means.
So from the beginning of the film, we see Tony in one light, that this is the way he lives, this is how he sees things. And when he gets attacked and he goes through this transformative experience with Yinsen, we see that alter ego, right? The Tony Stark we saw at the beginning, that part has to die. Right? He has to allow that to turn into something else. And it's really interesting because Obadiah actually says that. When he is confronting Pepper in the office later in the movie, he says, I too was really excited to see Tony back, but I think that he died in that cave. And I think that was really symbolic because he did. Because he was faced with the reality of his world. And if he stayed in that personality, I think that he would have came back splintered. And he couldn't allow himself to exist in a world that looked like that. So he had to allow these collection of beliefs to die. But unfortunately, when he had the press conference, he inflated his ego and thought, I've done it. I've acknowledged it. No one else can hold me accountable. Till they did.
Yeah.
And so I think when he confronts Obadiah, that's the last part of the naivety that gets challenged. When he realizes that he hasn't taken full accountability, he fully lets the company version of him, the rich playboy, when he lets that part of him kind of die, he can now don the Iron Man suit, because that's when he can take full accountability and say, no longer am I going to let everybody else fight my battles. I'm going to step in.
So that's what ego death is in this movie.
Yeah.
So when you say, how does ego death show up for us?
So when we have to challenge what we think we are, and I think that sometimes we're not ready for that, so we talk big because we talk about who we want to be, but we're scared to let that part of us go because we've been hanging on to that for so long. And so it really does take us to dive into our imagination and to wonder, if this part of us starts to subside, what can be reborn?
Yeah, this is where we get stuck in thinking, this is who I'm going to be, this is who I'm going to be, this is who I'm going to be, and the ego death is saying, maybe that's not who I am, maybe that's not who. I have to grieve, I have to let that go, which I think in a way, at least for me in my work with couples, is when people break up, why there's such a struggle. Yeah. Because it's not just grieving the loss of the breakup, it's grieving the loss of the future of the relationship, that I have to let go of everything that existed.
And